Alright, hello and welcome back. So yesterday I did a live stream just to break the ice for me. I sort of teetered off at the end of the last patch, and even though I'm excited for the new patch, I I am so bad. At my current level, I'm pretty bad outside of playing ground. And that's kind of intentional. I've been keeping it in my mind that's like, yeah, I know how to play ground, I like the ins and outs, I like the different comps that you can play with it. And I've gotten to the point now where I can comfortably play at any game and at least top four. And I'm satisfied with that because consistency is more important than whether or not I can get first place playing every comp in the game. Because that if you think about odds, the odds get stacked against you when you spread yourself too thin. So there are a couple of comps that I think I can play alright. Usually the beginner comps that people are mostly recommended, I've tried them all enough. I don't like water because not only was it meta last patch, but it's always contended, and even though War Turtle got nerfed, Summer got nerfed, that's not really the reason why I'm staying away from it. It's mainly just the fact that as a late game comp, you have to have basically your econ has to be perfect for it, and then you have to also get some very specific units. There's a lot of different legendaries and uniques that you can get, and you can play around it all just fine. But I don't like the RNG of fishing. I don't like trying to hit these super strong late game comps, and really the only thing that I ever see from water that's an actual threat is Primal Kyogre. Even base Kyogre isn't as strong as Primal Kyogre in the last few games that I saw it in. And so, with that in mind, here I am. I got into a game this morning, and I ended up playing ground. Now, just like with all my videos, it's top 4, and I upload. If I want to upload a loss, there would have to be a very specific reason for it. And I don't think people want to see me dissect a game where I go 6th, 7th, or 8th. 5th, sure, that might be an interesting game. I think I've done a game like that before. If not, I'm gonna stream pack as often as I can now that I've broken my my streak of not playing. I'm ready to just sit in lobbies for upwards of 10 plus minutes, and just so I can get the game in. And there's a lot of cool people. I think every person I've played pack with so far has been cool. In lobbies, some people that I recognize say hi to me, and everyone always wishes each other good luck, have fun. I think in game the community is amazing. That's safe to say. It's it's a smaller population than say the Discord, which I'm looking over at right now, and it's pretty funny. So I'm uploading this basically just to talk about the game, give a little bit of an update. At the time of recording this, there is going to be a new series this month, just for the channel generally, outside of pack content. If you're interested in Pokemon, that will probably be a good series for you to check out. It is a Pokemon X and Y Soul Link with Darian and I. We have a lot of things that we could be doing on a day-to-day basis. Because I work from home, our jobs don't have to line up for this sort of thing. If he works mornings, then I'll see him in the afternoons, and if he works afternoons, and it always works out. So one of the things that we did last year was a podcast, because we were really interested in the Pokemon anime. This year we're really interested in Pokemon Auto Chess, so I want to help him get his setup perfect so he can just make all the pack videos that he wants and whatever else he wants. But for me personally, there's a lot of stuff that I like just doing in my free time. I'll also leave a link in the description to something that I'm doing with Marvel Rivals right now that I'm just doing for fun. And for me, editing, video uploading, since the pandemic's just been a nice hobby of mine. And lucratively, there's other things I could be doing to try and build like a revenue source, because I'm almost 30, which it doesn't really sound that bad to say, but I am almost 30, and so I've partly been wanting to learn these new, more internet-focused, what's the word, like trades, I guess you could say, like editing and Photoshop and stuff like that. it's been nice. It's been a good experience the past couple of years. I really like editing, because one thing that I would really love to do is storytelling. And unfortunately, that takes a considerable effort, so it's not the kind of thing that I'll be able to do right now as of this moment, when I have to, build income, get married, adult stuff. So I'm pretty happy with the way that things are going in my life currently, and Pokemon Auto Chess is one of those things that I just really like. I would like to keep playing Pokemon Auto Chess this year. I would like to hit 1250 and maybe even 1300 in my time playing pack. I'll put that as my minimum, because I think I'm okay at Auto Chess. It's just that this game is so expansive that it's really hard to get out of that early comfort zone, I guess you could say. I'm probably nearing like my third month or so, maybe even more. I don't know of playing pack. This is like the third. This is now like the third patch that's released since I started playing, I think. So it's been 2 going on 3 months. And I mainly play ground, and I like ground. I'm okay playing ground. There's some rock variants that I'm pretty good with now. I can play. I guess I can play bug. The way I like playing around Burmy and Wormadam might sort of go against that, I guess you could say. But I think I'm good enough at the game of auto chess in general to continue pursuing this game and try and get higher rank. I don't feel like my problem is auto chess. My problem is just learning pack even deeper than I know it now. And so I'll hopefully try and branch out over the next month and see what other comps I can play consistently. But there's no shame in just like playing ground my whole life. I mean, I like it. For example, Sentry and Ferret, some of my favorite units. I love Swampert. I like the way that Rhyhorn is now. I don't get to play him often, obviously, because it's a 5 cost. But if I can just increase my pack skills enough to play more ground and then also branch out into maybe a couple of other comps, then I'll be satisfied. I've never really been a meta person. If you've ever played League of Legends, I mained Shaco, who is sort of like in and out of a viable tier throughout the time that I played him. The character had not been changed much at all since his release all the way back in like 2009, 2010. So I'm the kind of person that does that. Just plays the thing and then sticks to it, because for my entire time playing competitive games, that's sort of been the case. And I've played a lot of TFT as well. And as a result of playing TFT, again, I said on stream yesterday, the thing about it is that the pool is so small compared to pack. So when I play pack, I can't necessarily one-to-one the way that I would with other games. And so the learning curve really, like, even though I know what most units do, even though I know what most of the comps should look like, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be good enough to top 4 or good enough to get first place. So that's why I'm playing for consistency. I'm not really the kind of person that aims to, I have to get first place this game. I really only care about the end result. I'm more calculated that way. So unfortunately, the videos that I will share with you will always just be like top 4, unless again I find a reason to play a video, maybe find something interesting, maybe I hit a breakthrough and get like 6th, 7th, 8th. But there's not much. I feel like it's obvious in auto chess what you did wrong, unless you just have no idea what your comp is. And at that point, that's the problem. It's like, well, what should you be playing? If you're playing water this game, what units are you supposed to be playing around? That kind of thing. So, I mean, I've been tracking meta for a while now. I've gotten a good idea as to, if I play something like water, for example, what my targets are going to be. But I don't like playing water. So, that's the big ticket. I thought it'd be fun to try fire this patch, but every game that I had, someone was playing fire. So that's another big component of auto chess. You don't want to overlap with everybody. You want to make sure that you can get all of your units. And for me, I've come to focus around those 3-4 costs more heavily than the 5. And this game, I think I only hit like level 8 because I was playing an early reroll for Swampert. And Swampert's a unit that I'm pretty interested in this patch, just because it always seems to be a force to be reckoned with in the early to mid game, and in late game it doesn't really fall off that easily, I don't think, when you have items on it. Just on its own, any of the 1-cost units in the game, I would just say fall off. I don't think I've seen any 1-cost units where I'm just scared of them late game. I know Blastoise was one that people obviously rely on because it's really, really strong early to mid, but it never really scares me because I know it's going to fall off late game. And at the very least, I know that I can deal with it, and it probably should be swapped out for another unit. So here we have the incorrect Burmy. And the thing about this, I'm looking at my comp, I'm like, well, if I could just replace Pidgeotto with Wormadam, I'm just gonna do it. It's, you know, flexibility be damned. I'm just gonna go for it. And we do lose to the Blastoise here, but it's more so because of the Kecleon here, I think, and just the fact that it's field, so there's a lot of attack speed going on these backline units. So we're gonna take that round loss. This game we're playing around Swampert. We're gonna hope for the proper portal at the end here. And yeah, I do think about going Golem, so I do roll for it, but by the time I hit Swampert, I start to deviate away because I fit my target. I could sit for a whole Golem, but it's not going to be itemized, so what's the point if it's not free? If it doesn't show up in the sort of timeline, then what's the point? And here, this is kind of a misplay. I just go ahead and make another Mudkip. I should have just made the Wormadam. And then I roll and get the Swampert. So things like Golem and Mamoswine and Swampert, I usually just avoid playing that early reroll, because it usually just comes back to bite you, especially if you can't win streak off of the units that you're playing. I think the hardest thing for me right now is not evolving units. I always try to at least get the base upgrade, and I don't know if it's worth taking the losses in power and the HP deficit to maintain gold and then level up quickly, because by the time you hit level 6, level 7 playing like that, you're going to have to upgrade something. And I think the key component that I'm missing is that you're going to end up upgrading the units that you actually are after at that point. And so I might lose more rounds that way, but if I hit fast enough and I get to that stable comp afterwards, then there shouldn't be a problem, which is typically how I'm playing now. But it's that component of wasting gold that I'm still going to have to focus on. I also noticed it looks like they took out the flora on Turtwig, which is an interesting change. I kind of wonder why they did that. But at the same time, it has this fire synergy with its Zenith buff that I think taking out Flora kind of leads it more into that direction better. And if I ever get the chance, I would love to try it in a fire comp as with like a Firestone, because that sounds pretty fun. It sounds like a very fun game. When I first started playing this game, Torterra was a unit that I definitely chased a lot because I just like the fantasy. That's why I like ground so much. The fantasy of just outscaling your opponent is something that I'm really fond of. And here in this round, we're doing just that. I'm gonna end up putting a muscle band on Swampert. And Swampert's just such a cool tank in a comp like ground where it's just gonna get capped out on damage, and then also just take no damage. So that's fun. It's a fun fantasy. I can see why people like playing defensive stuff like that. I was also hoping this patch that the ice units would be really impactful, but a lot of them are gated. So it's just not exciting for me now. Like Cryogonal's a really cool unit, but that's unique. Are Cubchoo and Beartick additional picks, or are those in the game? And then Alolan Sandshrew is obviously a regional. So it's just like, yeah, you added more units to the game, but am I ever gonna play those units? You know, like how many games am I gonna play before I get to like try Cryogonal, Beartick, all these units? So that's my only gripe. I think I think it's a really cool mechanic, and I think it definitely fosters a necessity for skill. So it's whatever, because I'm probably gonna end up playing ground most of the time anyways. But even when LGM came out, I thought that was so cool and I wanted to try it. I never did. I never tried it. I played ground. I was like, well, I still need to get better at the game. I shouldn't just like chase this thing that people might be playing. I don't think I've ever seen LGM played, and I think that's the only problem with a mechanic like that. It's just additional picks, and like regionals are fine. You can play around regionals with like a good amount of experience. You can figure it out. Oh, it's like I'm on this field, so that I basically figured it out by now. Especially playing a few different units that I think of, I know when I get the portal whether or not I'm there. So I'm looking at the patch notes here. Torterra's no longer Flora. Defense is buffed, which is cool. Growth ability cooldown 500 to 250. So it looks like a buff to the unit and a nerf to the Flora synergy, which is fine because Torterra probably does belong in different comps other than Flora. I don't think, outside of just being a bulky unit that you could potentially build items around, I don't think that it's a big issue. And this is the point, right? This is the point right here where I'm just like, dude, what is happening? Swampert, I'm over here looking at the patch notes and this part comes up again. Swamper's just getting absolutely jumped. It's hilarious. But at the same time, I wish that wasn't the case. I wish I was able to win around like that. It's so strong, right? Like Swampert, really good tank with some offensive items like Muscle Band. It's a really good tank. The only problem is that there's a lot of dive in this lobby. There's a dark comp, and there's a couple other things that I've had to worry about this game where dive was an issue. And like, yes, I can play 6 ground here, but unfortunately I have the wrong Burmy. So I still need something that can deal damage. And here again, we're up against Dark Wild. I think that Dark and Wild have both been focused on a bit by the people that I've seen in my lobbies. I've seen it at least 3 or so games now, and it's scary every time. Especially against ground, which needs to scale, and you can't really put tank arms on everybody. I remember when I first started playing ground, I just built Pokédoll on like 3 or 4 units and played it that way. Now I understand that there's probably a need for a actual carry. So, but I felt that might have worked this game. I'm not gonna lie. Having a couple of Pokédolls. And so eventually you're gonna see how we pivot and fix this comp up. But for now, I'm just comfortable being at 42 HP. I know that Legendary's coming up. I know that I can still scale. I know that I haven't capped. And as I often say, my most important thing is I do not want to cap my board out before late game, before Legendary, before top 4. I want to make sure that I can keep scaling. And so, for various reasons, I ended up going Fluffy Tail. I think I was scared of like paralysis and stuff this game, but I'm also scared of getting dived. So here, I probably could have put Stone Joiner in the middle when I got my Legendary. That's probably the one thing that I was really thinking of at the end of this game. But right now, I'm just thinking about getting jumped, because I've been getting jumped. There's a lot of backline dive that I have to worry about. And then here, I think this is like an Amorphous and... what's the word? It's like Amorphous, and then you have Artificial. So those are that's sort of where this comp is leading me to believe. With the units. I thought that was pretty cool, but I also thought, well, this probably can be dealt with. And so we got a lot of focus on the Swampert. Swampert is not dying, and the Grass Wormadam is just going through and taking them out one at a time while ramping up. Love this Pokemon, but unfortunately, it is the wrong one. I still need to get the one that we're looking for. And so in order to do that, we're going to have to wait until the Legendary round and hope for that portal fix. So yeah, I mean, I've been playing a lot of ground, but I'm not tired of it. And I don't hate the game for it either. So the main thing for me is whether or not I can branch out and enjoy playing other things. I think that'll be possible if I just start grinding. But I don't want to just play a different comp every single game and then sometimes get first place and then that be my game experience. I want to be able to consistently top 4 on whatever comp I'm playing. And I want to have a wheelhouse of stuff that I enjoy playing. So, other than ground, I know I really like sound. And sound is super hard to play in reality. Sound's actually really hard to play in reality. Because it doesn't really do anything early. And the best version of the comp, I believe, is with something like a Primarina. Which would require babies, which would require even more, RNG and whether or not you can play it. Other than that, Xploud is a unit. Maybe I'll force some sound games in the future and just have fun. But I can't think of what comps I actually really enjoy playing. I wanted to try Ice. I like the idea of like I really enjoyed watching Swampert get jumped and frozen repeatedly. I think Ice is really cool, but that's another one that again is just kind of hard to play because of just the situation with the units that line up and what units you want to choose for a carry. It's not something that I can really get into the way I can with ground right now, but maybe this patch I'll try some ice games and I'll see how it flows for me. But this wasn't meant to be like a full VOD review. I wanted to get a video out. I wanted to talk about pack, wanted to talk about my pack experience, and just sort of what I plan to do this month with the game. And my big goal for this month is just going to be to play every single day and try and branch out. I have been, but I haven't really been playing ranked to do that. I've been playing a lot of bot games just because with time constraints, I really couldn't get into lobbies because I was going to do something else or I had something else going on in general. And so here I do end up picking the Landorus, and I think about it and I'm like, yeah, we could just get rid of this Wormadam. Get the Wormadam out of here. We don't need this version of Wormadam, and these items are perfect for Landorus anyways. So after some shuffling, you're gonna see me eventually hit that. So I dropped to 40 since I went under 50. I just go ahead and make that transition. And are we gonna do it? Are we going to do it? I'm checking my special defense to see what unit I can put this item on. At this point in the game, we really did hit a bit of a wall. And again, my goal is to not do that, but the Sentret is kind of useless in this comp now. Even when I evolve it to Ferret, it is still kind of useless. And I could have definitely swapped my positioning here, put Stonejourner in the center of everything, but I'm not really that confident in my team's ability to tank, and again, I'm still worried about some dive. So for example, here's the Minun. Did they just not play the Plusle? I don't think I've ever seen that before. That's pretty interesting, though. I like playing Plusle and Minun together because they're both threats, but I guess this guy only picked the one and sold the other. Is that a strategy? Let me know down below. Is that an actual strategy, or was the guy just trolling? Because I couldn't tell you. Anytime I've played Plusle and Minun, I've played them together for fun. But yeah, I'm not... Wait, Bellsprout line is now Hatch? I didn't even see that. Why? What's the... Wait, what's actually the point of doing that? Wait, Bellsprout... Wait. Hold on, I'm so confused now. What is the point of that? Why make Bellsprout Hatch? Hatch is... Huh. I mean, it's a good unit, though. It's actually a really good unit. So I can understand them moving it, but... That does bewilder me a bit, I'm not gonna lie. So let's see. Synergies, statistics, Pokemon, Hatch. There it is. The Victory Bell is not a bad unit, I would say. That might be a really big nerf for Flora, though. Because now it's 2 units out of the pool. Anytime you do that, it feels like it's like a huge nerf. Because synergies are everything in auto chess. That's really cool. I mean, again, like good on the dev team though for wanting to change up the base game experience so much, like they did in the past patch as well, with like the megas change. They just like took all the megas out the game basically. Yeah, it is 1:03 now. Disclaimer: I do have work. I do have work soon, and so we're gonna wrap this video up here shortly. The game is almost over. I didn't get that far this game, but in general, those are my thoughts. I'm pretty happy with how the stream turned out yesterday, because I was able to overcome that blockage that I had, where I was like, oh, I'm nearing 1250, I've been practicing, blah, blah, blah. But I do want to break out of the habit of just playing ground every game. If there's another fun comp that I really like, I want to try that too. It's just that right now there really isn't another comp that I really enjoy playing. And so I'll try and branch out. I'll take a look at it, actually. I'll take a look at the pool. Maybe I'll play some. Maybe I'll do like a Smeargle stream, and I'll force comps and see what I like, and then bring it to rank the next day, and then start testing it out. Because with Smeargle, I'm more relaxed with the outcome, and I'm able to play for. I'm able to play for the fun of experimenting a lot better, and I guess that just makes sense, seeing as it's a more fun game mode. But I do want to eventually get to that point where I can just take a look at my options, have like a couple of options that I really enjoy playing and I'm very passionate about, and then go with it. For TFT, the main thing is that every couple of months it's a completely new game, which is why I played it the last time that I played it. I played the full set. I loved that set. And then I didn't come back for the next set because I started playing Pokemon Auto Chess. And that's how I've always played TFT. Here, I was really thinking before I got into TFT, before I got into Auto Chess, Pokemon Auto Chess, I was really thinking that I would start playing more TFT. Because the Magic set that they had was really fun. Magics and Mayhem, I think it was called. And then they did an Arcane crossover, which was really cool as well. And I was testing it, and then I was like, wow, there is a Pokemon Auto Chess game. I like that. I love Pokemon, and Auto Chess is a dream genre for me. My entry to gaming in general was chess. Chess was the first game that I had ever played, and I played it quite a bit when I was about like 4 or 5 years old. But then when we moved, I wasn't really able to keep up with it. There were opportunities, but they always fell through. And so I transitioned into what my friends were into, which were Halo, Left 4 Dead, Call of Duty. I wasn't really big on sports games, but I did try a lot of single-player games. I'm not a big single-player game guy. I'm not even a big gamer, is the thing. It's just that video games are way more accessible. And so that's the path that I went down. And so when Dota Auto Chess came out and people started creating their own auto chess games, I got really excited. And I'm still super excited thanks to this game. And so this has become probably my favorite genre of gaming now. But the problem is it's competitive. You gotta really push yourself sometimes, and you gotta take some hard losses, as we are right now against the Steel and Artificial lineup. And one day, I hope that I'll be able to overcome that competitiveness that I have, because that was another aspect growing up with a lot of guys, always butting heads. It's something that I've come to appreciate. I do like having that drive. I'm flicking my mouse around, by the way, because I didn't hit Onyx. Onyx was at this game, didn't hit it. And at this point, I was considering flipping my comp around, but it was too late by this point. So that's all I have for this video. We're gonna drop out in this next round, so I'll try and wrap it up now. Thank you guys for listening to me today. There will be more pack content this month. I'm also making X and Y videos this month. If you like Pokemon X and Y, if you like challenge runs, if you like Nuzlockes, we got that going, and I'll also drop the other thing I'm working on for fun. That's everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until the next time, I hope you take care.